Okay, today you're going to be working on a DNA replication activity where you're going to model the process using paper. Um, so you're going to have a couple of supplies that you need. You have tape that's representing the hydrogen bonds, glue that's representing the covalent bonds, and then you should have phosphate, sugars, and your nitrogenous bases. When you first add your phosphate and sugars to make the backbone, they should look something like this. So when you do this, you need to make sure to glue the stars on top of each other, and the sugar should be taped on top of the phosphate. And you're going to make a nice long chain running in 5 to 3 prime direction. And this is what it looks like finished. Then you're going to go and move to the opposite chain and make the opposite deoxyribose, sugar, and phosphate backbone. Remember, this one runs 3' to 5', and so it should be upside down and look opposite of the other one. Then you're going to add your bases. In the instructions, it tells you the order that the bases need to be on the left-hand side, so you need to glue those to represent covalent bonds once again. So this is what it looks like completed. Then you're going to add the opposite complementary bases to the other half of your DNA helix. So you just need to go ahead and glue those. You match up the dots like you did on the other side and glue them together. And as you can see, the shapes of the two halves match. So obviously this is making your original strand of DNA. And then after you finish with this, you're going to show the process of actually going through DNA replication. After you add all the bases, this is what it should look like. Then now you're going to take tape, which represents the hydrogen bonds, and tape the bases together down the middle. Because remember, tape is weaker than glue, and so with using the tape, you're modeling how the bases are going to be weakly associated with one another. Next, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut apart the tape in between each of the bases to represent what helicase does to separate all of the bases so that they can go through the process of DNA replication. Now you're going to make your free-floating nucleotides that can then be added to both of the template strands of DNA to create your new identical strands of DNA. Now remember, you're going to need a phosphate, sugar, and base for each of those. So you'll use all of the remainder of the bases, phosphates, and sugars that you have to create all of these free-floating nucleotides. So when you are done, you should have a whole bunch of them pile, and then you should easily be able to add them. They should look like this. And then you should pull apart your DNA, which looks like this, and then start adding them. Tape them together in the center, and then you need to glue together at each stage the phosphate to the sugar. And remember, they're going to be upside down on the one strand and right side up on the other. And then this is your final